Nintendo confirms it'll announce its next console this fiscal year. This is Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle.
It's happening, bless.
In this next fiscal year. sometime before next March, Nintendo's going to announce a Switch 2.
I mean, well, no, we're in the end game now. Like, we could think about the past.
We're in the first Avengers movie.
No, we're in the end game of the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement. Like, we know it's happening. It's no longer a question of like, oh, what if it gets late? No, it's like, no, we're here. It's happening. Me and you have talked about this so many times. This is the perfect lineup of one of the iterations of what we've been talking about. They have this here. Later in like in October, they're going to freaking reveal the thing, and then probably March release the thing.
It's just the idea of like, we're going to announce it before the next fiscal year, where it's like, of course, I mean, obviously you were, but also it almost puts the end date of like, yeah, the latest we're going to announce it is next March, which is like when we're sitting here like, oh yeah, it'll be out by then. Like, we'll be playing it.
I mean, probably, yeah.
I still believe that.
Yeah,
but
you know. Let's get into it. There's a lot of good stuff here.
Nintendo has confirmed it'll announce its next generation console during its current fiscal year, ending March 2025. In a statement published alongside its financial result, President Shunitaro Furukawa said the company would also hold a Nintendo Direct this June, very exciting, but claimed it would not include information on the new console, suggesting hardware news would come later. Quote, "This is Furukawa, president of Nintendo." I love how they start their tweets.
I know.
This is Miyamoto. This is Furukawa. "We will make an announcement about the successor to Nintendo Switch within this fiscal year," he said. "It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. We will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024, but please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation." Go for it, Tim.
I wanted to stop you here before you get to the rest of it because there was a tweet, Barrett, if you could bring this one up, kind of like giving a little bit more here. In the results call, when asked if the next-gen console was brand new, Furukawa answered, "Switch next model is the appropriate way to describe it." So
we'll talk about that. In its financial results for the year ended March 2024, published Tuesday, Nintendo confirmed it had sold 15.7 million Switch consoles, just beating its forecast of 15.5 million, for a total of 141.32 million to date. The best-selling Switch games go like this. Number 10, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Number 9...
Hold on, no. You can't just say that. Say the number. Bless.
17.45 million copies.
No. That was number 10?
For number 10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. For New Super Mario Bros. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At number 9, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, with 20.61 million copies sold. At number 8, Super Mario Party, with 20.66 million copies. Insane that Mario Party sell. I know this is new news. We've talked about this, but Mario Party selling that much?
20 million copies.
Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Party. Like, play some Horizon Zero Dawn. It's out there.
Like, good Mario
there's so many other Super Mario Party. Oh, you're right. This isn't even Superstars.
No.
Super Mario 20.66 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
Go play some Hades 2 early access. You know what I mean? So many people playing a Mario Party out here. Above that, number 7 is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with 24.92 million copies sold. At number 6, Pokemon Sword and Shield with 26.27 million copies. At number 5, Super Mario Odyssey with 27.96 million copies sold. Only about 8 million more than Mario Party. Mario Party.
Yeah, dude.
Y'all like minigames that much?
Yeah, dude. Like mass appeal.
You know, I like Mario Party too, but that much? Like, dang. Above that, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 31.85 million copies sold. At number 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 34.22 million. At number 2, Animal Crossing New Horizons at 45.36 million copies. And at number 1, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 61.97 million copies.
And that number is not including Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U.
Wild.
Well, I don't know if that number adds a lot.
I mean, it adds millions.
It probably adds at least like 4 million or something.
It doesn't add a lot. Millions. Like, that's freaking absolutely wild. There is so much to break down in the story. I want to go back, though, to what I think is the most interesting part of this. Mm-hmm. We will have a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024.
Yeah.
We've never known that. With Nintendo, the last couple years, we've been mid-June, like, predicting every day, this is going to be the week.
Oh, the fact that they're talking about it this early.
There might be a direct.
Yeah.
It might happen. Nope. There's going to be a direct this June in the Summer Game Fest area.
I mean, it's smart though, right?
It's
Like, let's get
really
ahead of it
smart.
really early so people are not speculating about
the
console.
Switch 2 will not be there. We're talking about the Switch through the rest of 2024. There are more games to be talked about. Like, I love this news. I am super hyped on this. This means next month we're going to get news on Nintendo Switch titles, probably including The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker.
Don't do it to me, Tim.
I mean, now
Don't do it to me.
Come on.
I mean, if you get Metroid Prime in there.
I mean, we've been talking about this, right? Like, why would they be announcing a Nintendo Direct in June if they didn't have something to talk about?
I mean, they've had Nintendo Directs where they've had nothing to talk about.
That is true.
In June.
That is true. But like to announce it,
announcing it this
Nintendo
early.
Direct in the time frame that they try to come with bangers during that time frame.
Yeah,
and it's been a while since they haven't, when they have one, brought the juice for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking back to like 2015 with Star Fox Zero and all that.
Was that with the puppets? With the Muppets?
Yeah.
Good for them. I want to come back to the Switch Next model is the appropriate raid to describe it.
Yeah.
I think that's fascinating because the whole speculation and reports have been it is a Nintendo Switch 2. We've talked about recently it's going to be the same kind of Switch hardware functionality with magnets, and that's expected. But at the same time calling it a new Nintendo Switch model also does feel like a half step at the same time.
Look, we just talked about some numbers, Bless.
Yeah.
You don't change that. You keep
You're right.
the success there, right? Like, and we're going to talk about even more numbers in a second. It's just half step, full step.
The next
What's
Switch,
it fucking matter?
You don't think it's going to be?
working.
You don't think it's going to be enough of a step to where they start the tally over and they're counting as a different console? Do you think they're going to be like, oh, once we get there, we're going to be like, oh, we sold 200 million units of the Switch family?
No, I mean maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I do think it's going to end up being like tallied differently. But also maybe not. Like we've seen them do this before: Game Boy, Game Boy Color, DS to the DSi, DS Lite, and those are different. But hey, this might be different too. Let me take that back. This will be different too.
Yeah.
We don't know what this is going to be. The industry is completely different than it was even in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that console iterations happen, the way that mid-gen refreshes happen and all that stuff, like Nintendo are making the right decisions with this stuff. I trust them more than I ever have to make the right move with the Switch 2 in 2024.
I feel like for all intents and purposes, it will, for us that are in the know, it is going to be the next Switch, the next generation Switch. But I think probably in their framework of how they want to market this, it's the family of the Switch family, right?
I think it's got to be a jump. If it's not a jump, I mean, I think you keep the Switch branding because the Switch branding is powerful and it does work. I think it has to be a big enough jump where the games that I am playing on the Switch 2 are not even playable in the Switch 1, right? Like I think it has to be but this is a substantial enough thing that it's a next we're considering it next gen, even though it's the same family. I don't think it can be Game Boy Color. I think it has to be Game Boy Advance.
Play on Game Boy.
Yeah, but like no, I think it has to be a Game Boy Advance situation or like a DS to 3DS, not a Wii to Wii U. But like you get what I mean, right? Where it has to feel like a full transition. I mean, Game Boy Color still felt like Game Boy to me. Even though I wasn't there. I wasn't even born yet. But like I view those as the same thing. I don't know if that's
Game Boy
a
Color
wrong
98.
way. Game Boy Color was 98?
Yeah.
But like did people look at that as like a next generation?
Yeah. It was the first big iteration.
All right, maybe I'm wrong about that.
Upgrade of Game Boy. It was the first new Game Boy hardware that could only play exclusive games since the original Game Boy, like 10 years prior.
I guess I conflate the two. I look at them as like smaller iterations.
Because they are, because that's what made sense for the handheld market back then. It was different. Again, things constantly change. They're constantly different. I just feel with where we're at now, I agree with you. Like I do think that I think that for all intents and purposes, the Switch 2 is going to be the Switch 2 for what we all listening and talking about understand that to be. Mm-hmm. Will Switch 2 games be playable on Switch? I do not think so. I think that there will be rare exceptions that work both ways, but that's same as PlayStation and Xbox at this point. Like games are just different, and the way that console generations work are different. So I feel hypocritical saying this. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be called the Switch 2 still, but I also think they're going to count it as part of the Switch family.
Yeah,
even
keep this thing
Switch
going.
2. Yeah.
Keep the same energy. I'm right there with you. I just worry a lot about the Wii U branding situation. Of course, Wii U had more problems than just the branding.
And that's the thing is the Switch does not have the problems that the Wii had. and
Yeah.
it does not have the problems. It's not going to have the problems that the Wii U did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we're kind of in a completely different situation, specifically with the sales numbers and the games that we're talking about, and the fact that they're no longer developing for two different systems and struggling to have a good cadence of releases coming out that are resonating with the audience the way that they need to in terms of sales numbers, software-wise.
Mm-hmm.
They're crushing it. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. Looking for the perfect gift to celebrate the moms in your life? Aura Frames are beautiful Wi-Fi connected digital picture frames that allow you to share and display unlimited photos. It's super easy to upload and share photos via the Aura app, and if you're giving an Aura as a gift, you can even personalize the frame with preloaded photos and memories. Greg, Kevin, and a ton of people here at Kind of Funny are obsessed with their Aura frames. It takes about 2 minutes to set up a frame using the Aura app. You can add unlimited photos and videos and invite as many people as you want to a frame. Aura displays photos in true color and automatically adjusts for the light level of the room. At night, when you turn off the lights, your frame also turns off to save energy. From grandmothers to new mothers, aunts, and even the friends in your life, every mom would love an Aura frame. Right now, Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. Listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $30 off plus free shipping on their best-selling frame. That's auraframes.com and use code KINDOFFUNNY at checkout to save. Terms and conditions apply. This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers an unrivaled product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and world-class optics for all outdoor adventures. With an extensive array of styles and colors, you're bound to find the perfect pair of Shady Rays sunglasses. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun playing a lot of Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I am out and about looking dope. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break a pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Exclusively for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code KF20 for $20 off each pair of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stressors, big and small. I'm currently planning a wedding, so I know all about that. But when we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. You can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace, and it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist at any time for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/kindoffunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindoffunny.
So, dumb question, but also I think fun question. Because you say that you think they're going to call it the Switch 2. Do you think they worry about the 2 being a small number? Like in the way that when we had the Xbox 360 come out in the same generation as the PS3, and Xbox didn't want to call it the Xbox 2 when you have the PS3 sitting next to it because then one sounds like it's more advanced than the other. Do you think Nintendo worries about, well, they're on PlayStation 5. If we put out a Switch 2, it's going to feel like we got to call it the Switch 360 or some shit?
If anything, I think that Nintendo has proved that they are not competing with Xbox and PlayStation. Mm-hmm. They are looking at themselves and trying to come up with the correct strategic plays to address their audience. And I think the Switch 2 is possibly the biggest story you could possibly say with Nintendo. Calling it something completely brand new, calling it the Super Switch, calling it anything else, the new Nintendo Switch, whatever the fuck, all of that stuff I feel is less confident than calling it the Switch 2.
I agree with that.
Just given the legacy of Nintendo's decisions and where they're at currently, calling it the Switch 2 is a message to every single person that, oh shit,
it's the sequel.
This is the sequel to the best Nintendo thing ever.
I agree with that. I think that would be the best choice. You know, like don't call it. They're not going to call it a Pro. Don't call it a Super Switch. Even though Super Switch rolls off the tongue and sounds cool, I think you get into like the weird marketing problem of moms or older, like, you know, parents or whoever buying a console for their kid and thinking that the Super Switch is just like another iteration and just buying the Switch 1 instead. Like, you don't want any of that confusion. I think Switch 2 is the easiest way to go about it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on the story?
Oh, I do, Les.
Break it down.
So there was a couple tweets that I wanted to bring up that I just find so fascinating. Anytime these Nintendo fiscal reports come out, there's always so much to break down. But there's a Twitter account named Pierre485 that I'm unfamiliar with, but I want to get familiar with because they're dropping some bombs and they're taking all the data and making graphs and charts out of it that I'm like, yeah, this is the type of stuff that I want to see. So Barrett, if you want to bring up the first one here. So Nintendo expects the Switch to pass the Nintendo DS by March 2025. The company's forecasting over 154.82 million units for the Switch by March 2025. So 13.5 million more in the next year from now. And then from comparison, the DS shipped 2.3 million during its 9th fiscal year. So Nintendo is still aggressive about the current Switch ecosystem selling that well over the next year. So the next fiscal year, they're talking about that at some point we'll hear about the Switch 2 being announced and released or whatever. Regardless of the Switch 2 being released, they still think that the Switch is going to overtake the Nintendo DS family of systems.
Interesting.
That is bold.
I mean, unless you got something this year. It's hard for me to believe it. But like, but also, what could that be?
I mean,
of course, you have a Pokemon coming next year, like early next year for the Switch. And so that's going to do a lot of help for that.
But again, would they consider the next Switch that they're coming out with as part of the family of Switch consoles, right?
I mean, that is very interesting. I don't think so. I think that this messaging here, specifically what they're talking about, is the current SKUs that are out there.
But like, my thing is, like, especially with the Furukawa quote, Switch next model is the appropriate way to describe it.
Yeah. Totally. We'll have to see. I mean, I feel like if that's the case, though, their expectations will be a lot higher. Like, these aren't secret goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like they're being like, oh, we think we're going to hit this. If they were talking about the next Switch sales, they would be like,
I think they'd be clear about
the forecast is going to be a lot higher than just 13 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But we'll see. Then the next tweet I wanted to bring up from him is Nintendo's profit during the Switch era surpasses the combined profit from 1981 to 2016.
I saw this. That's wild.
Absolutely wild. And people might be like, oh, but what about inflation? The follow-up tweet that he did. Since I've received several requests, I've made another graph, this time accounting for inflation. The statistic still holds true.
Wow.
Like, just wild.
Yeah.
To think about where Nintendo's at. And for years, we've talked about their money bags and how much they have in the bank and how much that they are just sitting on as a purely video game creative place. You know what I mean? Like, they don't make Blu-ray players. They don't make computing software and like operating systems and all that stuff. They make video games. And now they make movies and TV and amusement parks and IP stuff, all that stuff. It's just wild. More money to be made. And then the final one that I wanted to bring up here is just some breakdowns over the entire Switch library. 67 first-party million sellers on the Nintendo Switch.
Jesus.
All right? 38 games sold over 3 million, which combined to 546 million sales. 21 games sold over 10 million. 4 games sold over 30 million, combining to 173 million sales. And some interesting things here. Mario vs. Donkey Kong debuted at number 66. Princess Peach Showtime at number 64.
No way.
That means both of them have sold over 1 million copies.
Wild.
Already. Those games came out in the last 2 months.
Yeah. Huh.
Pikmin 4, highest selling Pikmin game. By a large margin.
Damn, dude.
The second highest selling Pikmin game, Pikmin 3 Deluxe. The port of the Wii U game to the Switch.
Dude, it's Nintendo power.
It's Nintendo power, man.
Nintendo power is strong.
And now the last thing I have here is Pierre, again, I want to shout this out. Pierre485 made a video that I want to watch with you, Bless.
Okay.
Because it is 2 minutes and it is a lot of fun.
Let's do this.
This is the sales of every Nintendo first-party game.
I love this.
All the top sellers over time
Yes.
from the launch of the system, and we can kind of see how
So
things
for
change.
audio listeners, the graphs are growing based on like as time progresses, showing new games coming out and how the sales are increasing for each game as they go.
Look at Mario Kart 8. Just freaking going,
Yeah.
man. And Zelda, like it's cool to see over time a lot of these
Yeah,
games.
it's interesting
even
how
some
Mario
smaller
Kart.
titles.
I guess Mario Kart 8 just has the tail. I didn't even realize that in that first year or so that it wasn't even the number one.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wild, right? Like to see this.
I mean, when you buy a Switch, you
the
buy
power
Mario
of
Kart.
2D Mario games. Super
Yeah.
Mario Brothers U Deluxe, and then Super Mario Maker 2, just going and going and going.
What is
fast.
that? Is that oh my
Pokemon,
God.
baby. Pokemon pops in.
Pokemon Sword comes through and just fucking jumps.
You know, here's Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Like, get fucked, motherfuckers.
The crazy thing is seeing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still growing over time. Just
Yeah.
that steady growth.
But
with-
look at as those two take off from the rest of them.
yeah.
We're still in 2021. And those two games are just
Dude, it's wild just seeing every new Switch is just selling another Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
Yeah.
copy. And Animal Crossing is just joining it in that. But now you're seeing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe even take off further from Animal Crossing as things go forward. That's wild.
Yeah, man. It's just like looking at this, I feel it puts into context just not only the power of the Switch in terms of being able to sell software, but over time and for so many different franchises and new things pop in. Ring Fit Adventure,
Yeah, Ring Fit Adventure having a
casually
big-
popping in. Super Mario Party, like we
Mario
were talking
Party,
about.
really? Like Mario Party?
I'm shocked that you think that that's so surprising.
It's like I know that Mario Party is popular. I know that like, you know, it's such a fun family game, such a fun like multiplayer thing. It's just the level of success.
Look at how much Mario Kart 8 has eclipsed Animal Crossing. It is so much further than I would have expected.
Yeah.
And I know we just read the numbers, but to see it like that, that's freaking nuts, man.
Yeah.